You're obviously Stoke manager. Rory Delap. So obviously it was that time where he was in his pomp of slinging it in the box. Yeah. And there's a famous clip going around the internet. And I know you don't watch much of the internet, Tony, but the ball basically, he's run out to the corner flag almost, Boaz has, right? And the player's shutting him down, and he can either put the ball out for a throw-in or he can turn around.
Kicking for a corner.
That's quick thinking though, isn't it? It's genius is what it is. It's genius because at that moment in time, genuinely, a throw-in was more of a threat with a Rory Delap throw than a corner for Stoke City, wasn't it?
Well, we knew exactly where that throw-in was going and how flat it was. It was just... I'm not sure if Ben was there at the time, but we finished training the one day and the lads are having a competition over the far pitch on the training ground, Ben. Who can throw the ball the longest? And they've put 50 quid in or whatever they've done. And Kempy's watching them. I'm doing something with Wilco or Andy Dicko, Cal Dickinson. So I'm doing something with the two young fullbacks. And then I walk over and Kempy comes over to me and says, have you seen Rory throw the ball?
This is class.
I've gone, no.
It was Kempy who discovered him. It was Kempy.
He said, I can't believe it. So they're all walking in. He's gone, Rory, come here. So he walks over. He said, show the gaffer. So he goes, whoosh, and he throws her almost over the pitch. And I went, Rory, where have you been hiding that? He said, he threw for his county, javelin thrower.
No.
Right,
and he's got is it ambidextrous or whatever in his
it can
shoulders.
Basically go over the limit and
he
stuff.
can actually get further than most people.
More leverage.
Yeah, more leverage. So we then talked about we don't want it looped, we just want it thrown.
Yeah.
And then we used to have 3 positions that we took up. And one was one on the goalkeeper if we could get in front, stop the goalkeeper coming to collect it. Then we'd have a near post movement and we'd have middle of the goal coming across the penalty spot and coming across the goalkeeper and one round the back. And people used to think, it just happens. But we used to work.
Without doubt you did, yeah.
We used to work at Stoke really, really hard on that.
It was murder to face, honestly.
And against the better teams where we needed to break the game up. We didn't want a free-flowing game, especially the first couple of years in the Premier League. You know, every time we stopped, and Rory then would be throwing it just inside our own half.
Yeah.
All the players get fed up with the game. You know, the top players.
Yeah.
Go, oh my God, here we go again.
They would though.
And it just broke the game up. But again, one story about Wenger, who was obviously synonymous with the Stoke supporters. We're playing him in the cup. We got him in the 3rd, 4th round of the FA Cup at home. We've drawn him, and Patrick Vieira and Jans Lehmann were on a coaching course with me. I did a licence down in South Wales, and the 2 lads were there. And they were waiting for me afterwards. I'm thinking, oh, blimey, what are they going to say to Arsenal players? We've absolutely mullered them most of the times at the Britannia or Bet365 Stadium. So they wait for me, and they tell me this story, and they say it was the only time Arsene Wenger ever coached defensive work was when we played you in that cup game. And he said he had us there for about 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. This is where they throw it. This is what I want you to do. This is what I don't want you to do. You know, You know, obviously the throw-in is that's how they usually beat us. So he worked all on this. And he said he was, I'd never known him so uptight.
Yeah.
Going in.
In his head, massively, yeah.
We're thinking, it's only Stoke. So anyway, we get there. And he says, we get there, and the team comes through. Rory's not playing. So he says, not only does Rory not play, but you murder us 3-1. he says, Wenger comes in afterwards. He's lost for words. Usually he'd blame we should ban throw-ins and we should do this, that, and the other. He had nowhere to go.
Nothing to say. Fully in his head.
Which player do you take most pride in on that basis of you working with him and seeing a level of improvement?
Which one would I say? The most frustrating player and the best player would be Rick, but the most frustrating, I'd sit on the touchline or stand on the touchline, and after 20 minutes, I'd go to Kempy. He's in Jamaica, man. He's not on the pitch. And Kempy would go, oh, for goodness sake, just leave it. and I'd walk back and I'd be looking at Kempy every time Rick had just missed, never got there, never did this. And then all of a sudden he'd get the ball and he'd go, boom, 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 1-0. or pomp, passed it to someone, and it was 1-0. And I tell that story. You've most probably heard the story about when we're fighting for promotion, and we play Wolves. We got Wolves. Mick was manager at Wolves at the time, and it's a 2-week break, and Kempy can't find a Jamaican game. So he's saying to me, listen, we play Saturday. There's no Jamaican game for the next 2 weeks. There's no game. So anyway, Rick turns up. He's got his, suitcase. He's got the lot. Rick, come here, mate. What's happening? He says, international. No, you got no games, Rick. Here's the international. Look, there's all the list of fixtures. A gaff. No, we got a game. He says, but you got me. He says, I'll go the first week. We got this friendly game they've arranged. He says, I'll be back the following week on the Monday. So I'm thinking, I'll have that Monday a week. Give him a week off. Give us a break. Give him a week off.
I had a game back in Barnsley.
Give him a week, John, and then that'll be it. Anyway, turn up Monday. Looking around, where's Rick? Because I go and see Dave. Where's Rick? He's gone. Don't know, he hasn't rung in. Oh, goodness sake. Tell Dave the story. Tuesday, now we're playing Wolves. We've sold 6,000 tickets. It's the back end of the season. They're third, we're second. So Tuesday comes, no Ricardo. Wednesday.
By the way, I'm thinking, I'm getting a game here.
Can you remember it, John? Anyway, so we go right through the blinking week and he still don't turn up. Friday, don't even turn up. Saturday, we have pre-match at the ground. Wolves is only 30 minutes away. So we all... Who walks in, Rick? He's got his hat. Remember, he had a hat on the side of his head. He's got his tracksuit. He wobbled in. All the lads are giving, God. He's turned...
Taking the mick
out of us and this, that and the other. He walks to the top. No, he wouldn't sit on the table with the lads. He walks right up, gets his beans on toast or whatever he had, sits on a table up there. So I'm like, Kempy, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to, I can't have this. Kempy's come. Tom, just relax. Just relax. You might need him. You might just need him. So I'm going, need him? I said, he couldn't even walk straight walking up there. I said, goodness knows what he's been up to. Anyway, get on the bus. All the players get on the bus. Rick walks past. Rick, where have you been, mate? He says, you won't believe it. He said, I've been trying to get in and out of Miami. I landed. Then they flew me back to Jamaica because I didn't have this passport. And, all the excuses under the sun, and just walked through. And I turned to Kempy and went, what use is he going to be for us? He said, Tom, relax. Let's get to the game. Prepare the lads that you've worked with now. Get them. So anyway, we got 1-0 up, don't we? I think Mama scores, or Mama crosses it, Rory scores. One of those two. Could Mama have scored? I don't know. I think it was one of his few goals. It was great. That one, John.
It was perfect for Ricardo.
Yeah,
he did. I bet he did 19k a game. And fucking hated that were Rick's. Honestly, it really was.
So anyway, we go 1-0 up. Then they score, I think. Then we go 2-1. Then you go 2 each, and they're attacking down the slope, and it's like balls going into the box. Ryan and Coulty are heading battleships out of the. It's all going off. So Kempy walks up. He goes, "Yeah, time to get him on." I said, "Time to get him on?" I said, "Look at him," and he's sat. He's almost like struggling to keep his eyes open. What are you on about? He says, "Get him on." So anyway, I said, "Rick, go and warm up." So he jogs, and he's at the top end of the ground talking to the Wolves supporters. The lads, and everything's flying in, his tackles going. I'm thinking, oh my God, we're up against it here. So I call him down. So he jogs down, takes his tracksuit off. You remember? He goes on the pitch. They have another corner. They head it out, and Rick's on this side. It drops to him. He dribbles it up the pitch. He beats 3 people, smashes it in the back of the net.
on my life. I'm like, he runs all the way down. Can you remember? He runs all the way down the pitch, and the lads have been hammering him, and I mean hammering him. Everybody's jumping on him. Everybody's kissing him. Everybody's cuddling him. So then we get another one, John, and we win 4-2, don't we? So I'm not joking. I'm absolutely washed out. So I come in after the game. I'm absolutely delighted for the lads and everything else, and I sit down. And I can see him over in the corner. I'm thinking, God, Ricardo. And all of a sudden he gets up. He don't see me looking at him. He gets up and he walks over and he sits by there and he puts his hand around me and he says, Gaff, you worry too much. And I looked at him. I went, what? He went, that's why you got no hair. And he got up and just walked straight across and sat down. And that was Ricardo, wasn't it, John?
Special.
Tony Pulis, Stoke, gone from playing for Liverpool, Portsmouth, Tottenham. You play on the deck. You know, how did you readjust? Because people would have seen that in your early career to that style of football with Tony. Yeah. But you had a great time at Stoke, and the longest you've been at any other club.
I signed at 30 and retired. Sort of, went to Burnley, but I was 38.
Yeah.
So listen, there were times where I got frustrated, but I bought into it because I understood. Like when I arrived there were lots of players playing above themselves, but the attitude and the camaraderie in the group that he had built was amazing. It was one of the best dressing rooms I've ever been a part of. You just knew that you were going into battle every day and you were going to get a result because of the work rate, the attitude, the endeavour, the dedication. It was a great dressing room. And Arsenal was our home banker. We made things difficult.
We had Wenger on a bit of toast.
Honestly, we just made things difficult. I reckon we could have beaten. I reckon at that time we were the only team that could have beaten Barcelona. We just made things. If Messi and Iniesta came to the Britannia at that time, I reckon we could have turned them over because we made it horrendous for teams. I remember seeing we trained in the middle of the pitch before we played Arsenal on a Friday just to cut it all up so they couldn't play. And then the grass was grown longer, and I remember looking at Aaron Ramsey and he couldn't see his boots. And he was like crouching. I went, that's just what we do here. It was brilliant. Tony always said, and fair play to him, he could have that, but he didn't. It's my best line of all time for me was when he felt like we were getting ahead of ourselves, and this is one of the best lines I've ever heard in football. He said, don't get ahead of yourselves, lads. He said, you're bang average players in a fantastic system.
That's a belt, isn't it?
Well, I can't argue with that.
We need to get to the bottom of the BT Pulis Christmas do.
Right.
Headbutt, apparently.
Naked headbutt.
Naked headbutt, allegedly. Can you confirm or deny?
Please confirm.
I'll confirm what happened was, so Christmas, it was, I remember it was 4th of December, we had the Christmas do sorted. Beats he wasn't the captain, obviously Ryan was the captain, so James was like the middleman between the lads and the gaffer, so he used to, go back into and sort stuff out, and Beats had organised the Christmas do down in London. So we obviously playing Arsenal away, 4th of December. He'd asked the gaffer, can we have the Saturday and the Sunday, and then obviously the Monday off? So this was Beats has said, 3 weeks prior to going down to the Emirates,
which is normal.
Yeah, of course it is. Saturday, Sunday. Can we have the Monday off and get back out? Run us on the Tuesday if you like, So he said the gaffer, he was happy with that. So anyway, we played Arsenal. I think we lost 2-1. We hadn't played too bad. The gaffer was okay after the game. He's done his debrief and he sort of said, right lads, we'll see you back on Monday at the training ground. So the lads are obviously sort of looking at each other now. Obviously at the Emirates, you've got the changing rooms is the main section for the boys, and then you go through doors and the staff's through there. So the lads have sort of looked at Beats. The gaffer's gone through after he's done his debrief. What's he on about there? Beats, I'll go and speak to him now. He's forgot. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. So Beats went through, speak to him apparently. Gaffer, what's happening? I spoke to you about, staying down for the Christmas do for 2 nights, and Beats said the gaffers went, no, James, I'm not 2 nights on the piss. I'm not having that. Get the lads back in on Monday. So anyway, the Beats has come back through the doors, and then obviously the lads are sort of saying to him, what's happening, James? What's going on there? And he's literally, as he's about to talk, the gaffer's come steaming through.
Naked?
No, towel round him, bottle of shampoo in his hand, slung his bottle of shampoo, towels fell off, fully bollock naked. And he just fucking flew at Beats like. And
I can't remember if it was impressive or not. TP's.
I can't remember, mate.
It's not trimmed.
Just like,
Can't be trimmed. You know. It's not Vitaed, is it?
Nah. So he flew at Beats, and he sort of said something like, "Don't be fucking speaking behind my back, you." And he's fucking sort of threw a bit of a headbutt at Beats, like, and Beats has pulled back. He sort of brushed him on the chin, and then Beats has swung one back at him. And then Peter Rees jumped in between it, shouting, "Fucking hell, Tone, you can't be doing that."
Put it away, Tone. Put it away.
Yeah,
so Peter Rees put it on TP's toes. You can't be doing that.
You can't be doing that, Tone. So you've got TP bollock naked. Beats has been sort of scuffed here, threw a punch at the gaffer. Peter Rees jumped between him as the referee, like, and all the lads are just fucking sat there like, what's going on here, like, you know. So anyway, gaffer's picked his towel up, shampoo, gone for his shower, gone, changed, match of the day interview, whatever. So we've gone in Monday morning. We've obviously Christmas do. Stayed down Saturday. Thought we'd better get our asses back on the bus Sunday. So we've gone back up to Stoke on the Sunday. Monday morning, we've obviously lads have probably. You're going to chat to your mates and see what's going on. Of course,
so you never got your Monday off.
Didn't get the Monday off, no. So we're back in on the Monday. Meeting's been called, obviously. It's got out in the press. It's going to get out, isn't it? You know, lads going to chat to the mates or whatever and that. Like, so anyway, Gaffer's called a meeting. We've had the meeting, and he's had a bit of a token, an apology, really. Sorry, lads, it shouldn't have happened. Bloody blah. But anyway, this is where we're at. Beats has ended up going to train with the 23s on the other pitch. And then that was sort of that, really. Beats, I think a week later, ended up going to Rangers. So it's a bit of a strange one, really. But that's how it went down, as I recall it. You know.
I rang Sir Alex up. He said, "Tone, I've seen your team. I think you're going to struggle. Your big chance is make the Britannia a place where nobody wants to go. And let me just tell you this now: if any of the top teams go there and praise you, you're not doing it right."
Correct.
And I never forgot it.
Yeah.
So we narrowed the pitch in, grew the grass, brought Rory into play.
Stoke on a Tuesday. Yeah, Stoke on a Tuesday night is still a thing, Tony.
And we wasn't in. We found a way to win. And people used to, moan and groan and criticise. We go to Arsenal, biggest pitch in the league. Grass would be cut like a billiard green. Be watered before the game. They had the best players. Their budgets was 4 or 5 times more than ours. I never said a word. I never used to come out and say, this is not fair. They'd come to our place and be a smaller pitch. The pitch wouldn't be like a billiard board. We'd play a little bit differently, and they'd moan like a train.
He moaned that much, Arsene. He got the rules changed him because they brought in the grass size.
No, they didn't.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
They brought in a grass size.
Oh no, I do know about this.
They come along, and then the referee had a little tool like that and put it into the game to see whether you're above that marker, and you'd get like fined or whatever it was. Like you mean?
Yeah, it was. I don't think I've ever been at a football ground where the crowd and the team were so together.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable.
How much it helps as well.
It was fabulous, Sam. The 3 years that it waned a little bit after the third year, which normally would, but for 3 years, we'd play the top teams, and the place it just lightened up. I can remember playing Man City, beating Man City 1-0. James Beattie scored a goal at the back post, and I think Wilkinson got sent off. We played all second half with 10 men. Every tackle, every challenge, every pass we made,
the fans.
It was like as though we were scoring goals every second. It was just extraordinary. So to have that as a manager, to have actually experienced the togetherness that we had at Stoke, it was just absolutely fantastic.